Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breathe Motivation. It is Sunday. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is episode 136. So we've been here 136 days straight because we want to make sure that you get your daily motivation each and every day. So we do this Sunday through Saturday. My name is Anthony Hester. I'm your host. So glad to be here with you today. So yesterday we talked about recharging, right? And it's important to be able to recharge your batteries. Just like you would recharge your smartphone, you recharge your tablet, your laptop, all those things that you have that are technology, we are very much in the same as far as us as humans. We've got to be able to take care of ourselves and really be able to energize ourselves to get better. And the only way to do that is really to take a break every once in a while. And that was something that I really struggled with for a long time, was being able to really kind of rest and, not feel guilty for, needing rest. Because I think in time, if you don't rest, you're going to burn yourself out quickly. And as you start to go through life, it gets really kind of tough and monotonous, and you get your butt kicked. And, if you don't take some time to really kind of reflect and understand, maybe why you're getting your butt kicked or why you don't have the best attitude or whatever that looks like, that's when life gets tough. Now, life is always, going to throw stuff at you, but it's all about how you handle it. So I think that is the most important takeaway for recharging your batteries, is making sure that you are on top of what you're doing, because that is what's going to make you successful in the long run. Right? So always take some time to recharge your batteries, rethink what your processes are, and do what you need to do to be healthy for you. So today we're going to talk about something important that I think is a big, huge factor for anybody in success, and that is going to be attitude. And I don't know why I've never used this as a definition, but here we go. So attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that reflected in a person's behavior. So, I always hear that saying, attitude is everything. And, really, when I look at it, it's true. If you have an attitude or you have a certain feeling about something, you start to look at things in that kind of manner. And how you look at it and the attitude that you have towards someone or something or your job or, just your life in general, a lot of that times that will follow you, right? You've got to be able to understand what your attitude is towards things and being able to make yourself better out of that. So it was interesting to see, I don't remember, I think I was doing door to door at the time, but we had like these, little, pump up sessions. It was called Atmosphere. So you'd be in there for an hour and a half. You kind of go over, your best practices, people that were doing well, what could they do better and all these things. But you also had like these lessons that we prepared. But it was interesting to see, what we have 100% control over is our attitude, right? And if you add up if you had a letter for each deal, right? So, if we look at, the alphabet, we have 26 letters in the alphabet. And if you add each letter to that number, so A would have 1, right? And Z is going to have 26. That's the number, right? So if you add up all the letters in attitude, it equals 100. So it was interesting to see. So if you ever, you can go back to it and, pause it here and go grab a piece of paper and then kind of add up the numbers, but attitude adds up to 100. So the way that we look at life is we should have 100% great attitude, right? So that's how I look at it. If anything goes wrong, let's just say something goes wrong in the day, I wipe away a letter, right? And then, something else pops up and then I wipe away another letter. You have full control over your attitude. But at the end of the day, when you look at those numbers and how it affects you, right? Are you at 100% by the end of the day? Now, it's going to be tough. It's tough to be able to maintain a positive attitude. And I'm not going to try to sell you that it's easy, because in this world, things around you can be very negative, or it's all in your perception, right? Now, there are things that can happen that are negative. You get laid off, or, your best friend stops talking to you because you guys got in a fight, or whatever that looks like, right? There are different ways of how we can control our attitude and how we look at it, right? So every once in a while, if I ever get in a fight with a friend, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Why are we fighting? And sometimes I look at it as like, man, maybe we just need a break. We just needed some time alone to really, value our friendship or value, who we are. And sometimes, out of those, I've gotten in some fights with some friends and, it turned out that, hey, we didn't end up being friends after that. And that was okay because at that point we decided that, hey, right now it's not a great thing for us that, to be friends, right? We're not learning, we're not growing, or we're ultimately hurting each other in the long run. So, there'd be times where, we had, to let each other go as far as friends or, jobs or things like that. And, I had to be okay with it and know that, hey, you know what? This might look terrible right now, but it's going to get better, right? I'm learning a lesson. And that's how I look at life is every time that I am looking at the overall life and what life throws at me, it's all in how I perceive life and my attitude towards life. If I'm excited for the day, guess what? I'm probably going to carry that excitement throughout the whole entire day. If I'm excited when I wake up and my alarm goes off and I'm excited to do whatever I've got to do, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm working out, whatever that looks like, I'm going to have a great attitude throughout the day, right? So if you've got to be aware of your attitude and you've got to be aware of your thoughts and what it looks like to you. Because if you're not aware of your attitude, you will never be able to get ahead. Because if you let others dictate your attitude, guess what? You in turn lose because somebody else is controlling that attitude for you. So you've got to be able to understand that you have the best attitude you can, have the most positive outlook and attitude and perspective, and you will have great things happen. Now you've got to be able to be aware of those things, be open to your surroundings, be aware of the people that you allow in your life. If there are people in your life that you feel like, hey, they're dragging me down, the way I look at it is, one, sometimes I am projecting my feelings of what I see within myself onto others. Or people are just, a-holes, right? Or however you want to look at it. And that's what you've got to be able to decide. But a lot of the times when I'm frustrated, I let my frustrations out on others and I'm like, oh man, did they really deserve that? And should I be taking that out on them? And, sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I guess nobody really deserves for me to take my frustrations out on them. But when I look at it, are these attitudes that I have towards certain people a feeling of my own that I need to fix and forgive these people for whatever feeling that they are giving me, right? Or, this lack of trust. If I have a lack of trust in somebody, is it, a lack of trust within myself, or is it a lack of trust because somebody did something? Now, if it is that case, what I do is if it's me, then I've got to say, hey, what is, holding me back from trusting people? What scenarios have happened this week that I'm having such a tough time trusting people, or over the last several years or weeks or months, because it can come in these waves. So you've got to be able to understand and being open to kind of really analyzing yourself and analyzing your overall environment, right? The only thing that we're in control of 100% is our attitude, right? We don't have control over other people's attitudes. But we do have the ability to be able to understand and, really feel what other people are telling us, right? They can tell us, they can explain to us, we can communicate, right? So the best thing in life is for us to communicate. And if you're a terrible communicator, I would recommend that you go get, some books that help you communicate better, or you start practicing saying things that, I look at scenarios. And I always tell people, if I was a mind reader and I could read everybody's mind, one, I wouldn't be working and I have millions of dollars, right? Or trillions, whatever that looks like, whatever that money looks like, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. But a lot of the times you don't give the chance for somebody to be able to understand where you're coming from because you don't communicate it to them, right? So I've had friends where I was like, I was really, hey, I wanted to let you know I'm upset about this. They're like, wow, I didn't even know that you were upset. And how would I have known, or how would they have known they were upset, or I was upset at them for a certain reason if I didn't tell them? So we've got to be able to be open and have a dialogue between people that we're upset with, or, if somebody does something the wrong way, be open to them and understand that, hey, obviously there's a way to communicate it and being able to be nice about it and, try to help them see the great things, not just saying, oh, hey, you suck at this, right? We got to be able to watch our communication. But when we do focus on that and we focus on the right things, you'll be surprised at the great effective communication has on your life. It's important for you to know that you've got to be able to control your attitude. You treat people the way you want to be treated, and great things always happen. So that's going to be a big key to success, is making sure that you have a great attitude and being able to monitor that attitude. So when you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling, right? I always wake up in the morning and say thank you, right? Because I get an opportunity to live life and be able to have the opportunity to live success, and whatever that success looks like in my mind, I have that opportunity to do again, right? So I'm thankful. I'm grateful for, being able to wake up, and my wife is, if she's still sleeping or she's awake, I get an opportunity to see her and enjoy her, right? And enjoy the people around me, enjoy the journey that I'm on. And that's one thing with attitude. You've got to be able to have a great attitude, a positive outlook on life, and positive things will just happen as you start to work on the positivity, right? So you've got to be able to be aware of your attitude, be aware of your surroundings, and if you're not happy with something, change it. And we've got to be okay with changing things and, be able to reflect and do what you got to do. So stay focused on having a positive attitude. I know it's hard work, especially if you're so used to being negative or you're around negative people. You have the opportunity to learn, grow, and get better, and take that responsibility to be able to do that. Like I said, the only person that you can change is yourself, and you can't change anybody else around you. And that's a lesson that I really had to learn, 10 years ago, was that I can't control my friends. I can't control anybody's attitude. If I have a customer that comes in that's mad, guess what? I can't control if they're mad or not, but I can control the communication that I have with them to be able to, have a great conversation and maybe flip that kind of scenario into something positive, right? Because a lot of times when customers would come in angry, you'd kill them with kindness, right? That's one of those things that people always tell you is, kill people with kindness. People, if you have a great attitude, and I would tell you to try this, is if somebody's so angry, you just kill them with kindness. And then you'll see, the situation and the conversation just kind of change, because it's very hard to stay negative if you have people around you that are being positive. So remember, focus on your attitude, be the best you can be, and you'll always win, right? So let me leave you this quote. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. If you don't change it, you'll never go anywhere. So be aware of your attitude, be aware of how you can be better, and fix it, right? So you wouldn't ride around on a flat tire, would you? So don't allow yourself to ride around and have a sulky attitude and a bad attitude, because you won't get anywhere. So go out there, be the best you can be, and enjoy that. So check out our Facebook page, Breathe Motivation. Like us on Instagram and Twitter, or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Breathe Motivate. Check out my website, breathemotivation.com. Working on getting some blogs up there. If you guys want to be able to, write on there, I'd love to have you guys on there as well. So feel free to reach out to me on the Contact Us page. So if you guys are writers, I'd love to have you guys on here and, be able to spread that positivity as well. So we're getting ready for Monday. So remember, Mondays are great days to start new opportunities. So don't go in dwelling Monday. We got to change that Monday blues to positive Mondays, right? So have a great attitude. You guys will rock this week. And as always, remember to breathe motivation and exhale success. I will see you tomorrow on Monday. Thanks.